I'm Matt. I run product design and engineering here at Ona. Before Ona, I spent time working at large engineering organizations such as Cloudflare and General Electric. One thing I discovered from my own experience, and also I'm hearing from our customers, is that as engineering organizations get bigger, complexity increases too. It's very easy for these engineering organizations to spend up to 30% of their time on CV mitigations, on keeping dependencies up to date, and on doing large-scale refactors and managing tech debt. I'm very excited today to introduce our automations product, which is a product I've been looking for my entire career. With this tool, that 30% of engineering time you're spending on CV migrations, on dependency updates, on migrations, can be handled by an incredibly small team of engineers, freeing up the rest of your engineering organization to focus on driving your roadmap forward. Let me show you around a little bit and show you what automations is capable of. The concept behind automations is simple, but incredibly powerful. Each automation starts with a trigger. This can be either manual, pull request based, or scheduled. And then you can apply that to one or more projects, or we also support doing a fuzzy match against your GitHub or GitLab organization. So for example, anything you can search for in the search box on those sites, you can type in here. So you could say, do this automation across every single Go project in our company. Once we've picked our trigger and our targets, we then have two options. We can either run a prompt, which runs Ona agent against those projects with your specific criteria. So for example, you may say, update all dependencies across these projects. AI agents are particularly good at this because they don't need guidance on what programming language is used or even necessarily how to approach the task. They can read context or skills within the repository to ensure they approach it the way you want them to do it. This was previously incredibly challenging without AI. However, one thing we discovered quickly is actually combining determinism with the agent can make it even more successful. So we also support shell scripts. So you can bring your own tools here. For example, if you want to bring Snyk CLI, you want to bring something like Modern, or any other CLI tool you have that gives an output, the agent can then take that shell script, the output of it, and feed it into its input. So I'll show you a couple of examples of this in a moment. Once we're done with this, we can then create a pull request or report. With these primitives, you can stitch together incredibly powerful automations which allow you to push all this complexity into the background and be handled near automatically. Here's an example I have. So what I do in this specific instance is I have a manual trigger, and what it does is it runs Snyk. So one of the unique things about Ona is we have a fully executable development environment that's reproducible. So every time we run this, I get the exact same tooling available to me, and it always works. So here what I've done is I've told Snyk to test all the projects that I defined in step 1. So in this instance, let's just pick these example projects I have again. And then I'm going to run the Snyk CLI against them. And the Snyk CLI is going to spit out a bunch of vulnerabilities that it finds within these projects. I then pass that output to an agent and say, look at all the CVEs that were found in the first step, resolve them, and then rerun the scan until you get no results. And then it can create a pull request. And I can use this template here to make standardized templates so it matches the rules of the pull request used inside your organization. If I come to this screen here, I can see the specific execution I ran for this. So I hit the manual button and got it to run. And I can follow the whole conversation here. So I can see the agent ran the test. It found some vulnerabilities, which was in a log library we were using. It then created the pull request to fix it. Another example I have here is a use case that we worked through one of our customers, but this migrates a GitLab CI pipeline to GitHub. You can then set this up to either be a manually trigger or to run it against 10 repositories every Sunday at 8 p.m. so that Monday morning people come in with ready to review PRs to do this migration, making it incremental and very, very reviewable by humans. Finally, another example I have here is we find that a lot of our customers use Modern to manage the Java upgrades. So what we have here is a combination of prompts and scripts which tells an agent to upgrade a Java 8 service to Java 17. You can see here that we ran it across 2 test repositories and was successful. This powerful combination of being able to run this in the cloud, in the background, in parallel, and to link it to trigger events, whether that's time, whether it's a pull request, or someone initiating it by hitting a button, is proving more powerful than we even imagined when we started building this product. So I'm really excited to hear what use cases you have in mind, and I can't wait to see what you use it for.